I shouldn't look over the fence, but I do.
Oh, you look over the
Well, I've got a number because my place sort of doesn't run in the normal way. It runs on an angle, so I've got 3 across my back.
That's unusual. I met one of your neighbours lived at the back of your fence at a gig once.
Really?
Yeah. I can't remember what they said. They said something about.
Oh no! What?
No, I can't.
But they looked over the fence because I do wander out the backyard in the nude sometimes.
Yeah, maybe that's what they're talking about. They weren't. Oh, we back onto one of your friends' houses. I'm like, oh, who's that? Oh, Glenn Robbins. I think they said that they don't see you very often, or you're not very noisy. Oh, I've talked to you about them before. They have parties.
Oh, those ones.
They're the ones.
I met them in the street the other day.
Yeah, I think they got kids. They have older kids.
Oh, you met them.
They're a couple. Yeah.
They introduced themselves anyway.
There you go. But they have parties apparently. Yeah.
But they don't have. They're very respectful. They don't go too late. But they do sing along to 80s sort of. No, more your Barnesy, Farnsy sort of sing-alongs.
Oh, we have 2 doors up from us. They have parties and they get a guy with a guitar and an amp. And he sings, so he started off with Teenage Dirtbag, which I quite like that song. That's from the 90s, I think. No, 2000.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I'm just a teenage dirtbag, baby. Because we did a parody song when I did a show once. We did I'm just a teenage trolley collector. That's right. Anyway, so I sing along. My wife's like, don't encourage him. But then he goes into the Summer of 69, which is one of the worst songs.
How do you encourage them?
I sing along.
What, over the fence?
No, I just sing in my backyard. I'm just a teenage dirtbag. Don't encourage them. Maybe if he hears me sing along, he thinks, wow, people are loving this.
Ex-member of Captain Coco.
Yeah. And then he bangs into the Summer of 69, which I hate.
How's it go?
I got my first real sing from the Summer of 69. Bryan Adams. The worst song ever.
Well, that's not so bad compared to... They've got kids, and they must both be under 5 or 6, so they're quite loud. Now, the thing that people should know about getting a pool is like putting an amplifier in your backyard, because if you're sitting in your pool and you talk, it will bounce off the water and go around.
Oh, really?
If you were at a spa at a resort, listen, people try to talk over the engine, the pump.
Yeah.
And it's like you can hear everything they're saying.
Oh, wow.
So... Number one.
So these people have got a pool now.
Well, yeah, they didn't have a pool, and they put one in. They had a lot of trouble, but now they've got it, and the kids are in it. And I thought, and they've got to put a fence up because of the new laws and everything.
Of course.
But this is interesting. On the other side of the fence, what do you reckon they've got? What do you have in your backyard? You have a
clothesline
and a
compost bin. Garage,
couple of dead bodies buried in the back. No, you have a trampoline.
Trampoline.
A trampoline.
So hang on, they've got a trampoline and a pool.
Which, hello.
Wow.
That's got to be dangerous for kids growing up. But I did have another look because of the little peephole. Okay, I've got a number of peepholes. I can have surveillance of the whole suburb.
So these people have got. These are the people that I met, are they? They got
that's their next door neighbours. So if you're a kid, let's say you're a teenager,
and a pool.
Well, and the trampoline's right next to the pool. So what are you thinking?
Are you jumping from the trampoline into the pool?
Off the roof, onto the tramp, into the pool.
Yeah.
How good is that? Now, it is one of those tramps, those wussy tramps.
With a net around it.
'Cause in our day.
No net.
What did you have? You just had
We've got one in our backyard that I bought at a garage sale. It's got no net. If you break your arm, you break it twice. You know what I mean? It's a good, solid.
It's the real deal.
It's the real deal.
The most common thing was to miss and go down into the springs. And maybe face plant into the frame.
Yeah.
But nowadays you can do anything and you just bounce back into the middle. But
those nets are bad in a way because they cause quite a few injuries because kids instead of bouncing, they bounce together.
Oh, I see. So it's like Hoppo Bumpo?
Yeah, Hoppo Bumpo.
What was that?
Yeah, we played that in Scouts. Yeah.
Hoppo Bumpo, which was one hopping with your arms.
They tie one leg up, wouldn't they? Brutal.
Tie one leg up.
They tie one leg up.
And then you fold your arms.
And you have to bump into each other, yeah.
Hoppo Bumpo.
Hoppo Bumpo.
Anyway, so I just think that there's one thing to have a fence, but it's one thing to put a trampoline next to it. So, I just think they should, the authorities really should be looking into tramps and
pools
and roofs. Because what's that show? What's that movie that all they do weird things in?
Jackass.
Jackass.
Yeah.
That's Jackass made in heaven.
Yeah. And look, it might be okay when they're 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, but once you get to like 10, 11, 12, 13.
You're just bringing it on.
Oh, we used to, when Mum and Dad would go out, there was a Noddy who was the daredevil in a group of friends, would get his BMX and ride off the rumpus room roof into the pool. So dangerous when you think about it.
Now, what would happen nowadays, someone would film that, upload it, and then it would be on the news.
Yeah.
It would make the news because someone's filmed. But back in our day, you had to have a Super 8 video.
No one had them.
Yeah, no one had a phone. No one had a movie.
You just had the memories and the legendary stories.
Yeah.
He did what? He got up on the roof on his bike and rode off into the pool.
We used to, when we were down the beach, one would not drink, my brother wouldn't drink, but the rest of us would get in the car, drive out the back blocks of Anglesey, and then get up on the roof of the car and ride around on the roof racks.
That sounds fun.
Well, it's just ridiculous.
Yeah.
It's just stupid. One, the roof racks could come off. 2, you could fly off. 3, you could hit something. Anyway.
Things you did when we were younger. My brother went to New Zealand. Trev, who should have been at uni but left uni to form a rock band in New Zealand. And so we were still in high school, but he left a car behind. And when Mum and Dad would go away, we were 16, 17, we would take that car for drives. So the drive-in. We used to get the drive-in in it.
The drive-in.
When we were 17, 16.
So no license, obviously.
No one had a license. God. Again, Noddy used to do the driving.
Noddy. I like the sound of Noddy. Yeah. Noddy, it's a good nickname.
He was up for adventure.
What was his real name?
Russell.
And how did he get Noddy?
He looked a bit like Noddy.
Noddy and big ears.
Yeah.
What was I going to say? So if you're young and you're thinking about doing something stupid or reckless, do it because you only live once.
Yeah, just don't break your back or your neck.
Don't film it.
Yeah, don't film it.
Don't film it.
Don't jump into shallow areas. That was always...
that's very true. And I am being a little bit irresponsible by saying that.
I remember going on camps and stuff and there was always one kid who just jumped in the river. Everyone was like, I wouldn't be doing it. Even when we were 15, we were like, I wouldn't be doing that.
Because even if feet first, you can still hit something, And you know what else can happen? If you go into a river and you go down, you get snagged underwater. You can get your clothes or what you both can get caught on something. And before you know it, I nearly drowned in a river.
Really?
Yeah.
Which river?
Up near Broadford. And I went in, and I remember I was going down for the 3rd time, and my brother just reached down and pulled me out. And then we're driving home. And we got into another argument or another fight. He goes, I wish I'd never pulled you out.
Good times. Well, he comes to music.
Hello and welcome to Somehow Related, and now please welcome your hosts Glenn Robbins and Dave O'Neill.
Well, welcome to the show. It's a new year. We're recording this on New Year's Eve, actually. So
that's letting people know how far ahead we're or behind we are.
We're not that far. Yeah. We're not that. It'll still be January when this comes out, I assume.
Yeah, so whatever you did on New Year's Eve, I know that I was only talking about you last night.
Oh.
That you used to, and we're going to do it tonight, where you make 10 o'clock, you turn your clocks forward.
Oh, yeah. And say, that's New Year's Eve, kids, in bed. Yeah, we're just hitting New Year's Eve. 10, 9, 8, all right, into bed.
Into bed. And we're going to have some friends over. We're going to go make it 10 o'clock as New Year's Eve, because lasting from 10 till 12.
Yeah, it's terrible.
Especially if people come over at about 6:30. You've had some to eat. You've had some. You've told a few stories. You're going, you know what? Unless you're going to really party on, what's the point? And so we just
unless you're swingers, and it's all going to happen.
Because you just go to bed and you go, what's the big deal? But the New Year's Eve can be such a disappointment.
I'm doing a wedding, so I'm doing a gig at a wedding. So
it's not in Hunter Valley. Not Hunter Valley. Where is it?
Mooney Ponds.
Apparently, a lot of footballers get married this time of year because it's the only time that they're free.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Yeah, right. Yeah, New Year's Eve. Well, it's easy to remember your anniversary, isn't it?
So that means that you'll have a double banger. You'll be doing the hosting, then you'll have to stay through till 12?
No, not at all. No, I'm just doing stand-up.
Oh, you do a spot?
Yeah.
You do a spot at a wedding?
Yeah, they're an older couple. They just want a bit of fun. Yeah. I don't know.
So, I mean, you're the perfect one to have. You've been there, done that.
Oh.
You can paint a pretty bleak, funny picture for this people. The older couple getting...
Yeah,
here's an interesting thing.
They're like my age.
Interesting thing. If someone has their first wedding, everyone goes along, right? Then
yeah, I wouldn't do stand-up at someone's first wedding.
No. Second wedding, if you get invited, you go, second wedding. I reckon if you get invited to a third wedding, you're going... hey, buddy.
Yeah. No presents.
You-
Better be in my town. I'm not going to Bali or Queensland.
You had 2 goes at it,
Yeah.
and you want me to celebrate
Yeah.
you coming together for a 3rd time.
Yeah.
Take a look at yourself
Yeah.
and just go, just go and do it quietly by yourself. Don't tell anyone.
When I did a golf club, and you play golf. I don't play golf, but I certainly do gigs at them, and a certain type play golf. And I always ask, who's been married the most times here? Because there's always, this guy, they're all pointing at this guy. And I said, how many times? He wouldn't tell me. And these mates go, 4 times, he's on to his 5th. He's been married 4 times, so he's now in his 5th. Serious. I said, after maybe the 3rd or 4th one, did you think maybe you were the problem?
Well, you'd have to. Because there is a part of your psyche going, well, I'm pretty good.
Oh, yeah.
I got it worked out. I'm just been unlucky.
With the 4th one, he just dropped her off at the airport and drove off, apparently. Because she was from overseas. He just got the shits and just drove her to the airport.
I've heard terrible things like that.
Oh, my God.
Anyway, enough about the bleak side of life.
Party on. It's
2
New
topics
Year's.
that aren't related. If you're just coming to the show in the new year, you thought it's part of your new year resolution. I'm going to listen to somehow
Discover
related.
some new podcasts.
2 topics that you wouldn't think are related, given to us by Sam. They are in fact related, and we don't know how they're related, but we've got to work it out, and we go on a bit of a journey. Feel free to have a go yourself.
Yeah.
Don't put bets on or anything like that amongst yourself. Maybe it's a drinking game if you want to do it like that.
If you want to.
Yep. But otherwise, just play along, and maybe you'll learn something as well.
Sure. All right. Well, let's get the topics.
Twisties and animal feed.
Animal feed. We say this a lot. I'm not going to say one of our favourite topics.
I love Twisties. I have to say, Twisties is probably my favourite snack.
So if you're okay, let's play Desert Island snacks.
Yeah.
So I'm going to give you 3 Desert Islands. 3 is 3. Okay, is that too many?
3's enough.
Okay, so what would you go with?
Is this a drink as well, or are you not?
I'm thinking more in the savoury.
Oh, savoury.
Well,
okay, we'll go. Well, and maybe a sweet. Okay, we'll go 3. I'd go cheese twisties. I'd go plain thin potato chips. And
thins. They're called thins.
They're called thins. They're good.
Yeah,
they're very good.
Yep.
They're
But you can't dip a thin, can you? Because they break.
They sort of.
I tried to dip a thin last night and it didn't hold. And then you put a bit of chip into the dip and you can't finger it out.
I'm not into dipping chips. That's for biscuits.
Is that wrong to do that? Should I? Because I see the chips and I see the dipping biscuits.
That's not.
And it's wrong to you cross it. You're blending, aren't you?
Yeah,
I don't know.
That
I won't do that again.
That sounds like a British thing or something, an American thing to do that. You've
So
seen that on a movie, I reckon.
So Twisties, thin chips,
thins, and then I get something sweet, I think, to offset.
Oh, so it's kind of like your dessert.
Yeah, I
treat.
love having a savoury than sweet. So I would go, oh, that's a hard one. Yeah, I don't know. Would I go some sort of chocolate? Some sort of chocolate, like a licorice chocolate, maybe. I think I would go dark chocolate.
Because I'll give you a whole box or packet.
Yeah.
And I thought you would have gone for a box of favourites.
No, I don't like favourites. Oh,
okay.
No. You know why? Because I don't like the small.
Oh, don't you?
Nah, I don't like.
I don't want to commit to a whole bar.
No, I like a whole bar.
So I don't want a whole bar of flake. I want one taste of flake.
No.
I don't want a whole cherry ripe.
That's why you're skinny and I'm fat. I want the whole thing. No, yep. I'd get some. I think maybe dark chocolate bullets. There we go.
Licorice.
Licorice.
You know,
tell you what, it's good being on this desert island. Before you get shipwrecked, you get a choice of your snacks. All right, boat's about to sink. Take whatever you want.
And your mini bar. You got nothing, but you got a little mini bar over there with some snacks in it.
Yeah, you're getting on the life raft. What have you got those twisties for? Hey.
It's not a bad idea for a radio show, is it? Desert island food.
They do desert island discs, don't they, in England?
Which is where you talk to someone and they put on their favourite tracks. You'd be really good at that show.
Oh yeah, sure.
Because I don't have your music. You have music that defines you.
Yeah, I love music. You're right.
And whereas I don't. That's why I never did Spicks and Specs, because they asked me many times. You were on it 57 times. 55 times. And because I said, they said, oh, you'll be fine. I don't know anything about music.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. You could have gone on it. Hamish doesn't know anything about music. I used to go on it a lot. There's plenty of people that went on it that didn't know.
Would they maybe ask me what I liked and then maybe put a couple of questions in there that would have worked for me, lobbed them beforehand?
Possibly.
Okay. Yeah.
And they would have asked you for a music. You got music. God, you've got music stories. Like you dance with Skyhawks.
Oh yeah,
So
they
that's
did,
perfect one
did
to-
yoga with Sting.
Perfect one to start. Perfect stories to start a show. And Glenn, I believe you didn't. Yoga with Sting.
And then I could,
So you've met enough, and then some of the questions. They're not that hard.
yeah.
You know some of them. It's not about winning either. It's playing the game.
Twisties. What year do you reckon?
Oh, I'd say
60s, 50s, 60s, 50s.
Yeah, I
Is
remember
it
them as a
Australian?
kid. Yeah, there's different. Oh well, here we go. In Italy, they're called
look out.
Fonzies. Yeah.
So
And they're
you
different
reckon,
flavours.
do you reckon they took the Twisty and turned it into a Fonzie?
I think what happened is that in America they're called something else. They're called cheese puffs. I think they're called.
Because in fairness to Twisties, a Twisty looks like a Twisty. It's
Yeah,
twisted.
it's
Do you think that's why they're called Twisties?
I think it must be actually. I don't know why, but I'm a bit of an expert on Twisties. In Italy, okay, they're called Fonzies, and they're different flavours. There's gorgonzola cheese flavour, which are beautiful. I had some last time.
When you were overseas recently, did you go crazy in the
It's hit and miss with the snack food, though, in places like England and France and places like that. A bit hit and miss, but you can get some good stuff. They have paprika flavoured chips and stuff like that. Beautiful.
So what is it? Is it like a corn?
It's corn.
It's corn.
It's corn. So there was a great article in the paper a couple of years ago because someone wrote an article about Twisties, and she said they sort of keep it a bit secret. It was
Like Coca-Cola.
Yeah, the journalist said it was very hard to find out how they actually make Twisties because the thing about Twisties is they're baked, they're not fried. Remember that they're healthy.
So they put them on a tray.
No, they spin them in a barrel with oil.
Oh, this is interesting.
Yeah. So what happens is that it's corn, right? A corn extract.
Corn. What part of the corn? The
It's just pulped up. I think it's just
Right,
pulped. But
okay.
yeah, when you think of the corn that we eat, not the cob,
They pop.
the kernel.
Yeah.
The kernel's all squished up together with, I don't know, sugar,
Salt. Basically,
water.
we're done. We're done. Sugar and salt.
It's shot into like a spinning barrel of oil and flavour, and so that's how they cook them. They spin them around like in this giant thing that spins. So it's not in an oven; it's in a spinning thing.
Because it seems to me, especially in the US, a lot of things are made from corn and corn syrup.
Yeah, well, that's corn. When Columbus and that went there, they discovered the Indians had maize basically, which is corn. They made everything out of corn. The Incas, they all used corn as a flour and stuff. Whereas in England and Europe, they weren't using corn.
So if you're a food manufacturer, you just go, what's another way we can bang corn out into another shape, and then whack a bit of chemical on top and give it a name. Wow. You'd have to say that that's had a lot to do with our dietary problems in the last...
Twisties?
No, not Twisties, but that sort of food development.
Yeah.
Like corn syrup is the big killer in the US, is it not? Because corn syrup is in everything.
It's in everything.
In everything.
Yeah. Vegetable oil is another one. I read some book once about this fat guy in Queensland did all this. He lost a lot of weight, and he reckons it was vegetable oil. Was because when you get, I think I've talked about this before. When you get something that says cooked in vegetable oil, it's not actually vegetable. It's seed oil. So it's misleading. It's canola or something like that. So when you use and it's very hard for the body to break down seed oil. Whereas if you get like avocado oil or olive oil, the body knows what it is. It's an olive bean.
Yeah, my naturopath says I've got to have more olive oil.
Yeah, olive oil's good. I use a lot of olive oil.
What do you cook? Say if you're going to do something in the frying pan, what do you use?
Yeah, olive oil.
Yeah, we don't. We use canola, which is not good.
Canola, don't use seed oil. Seed oil. Look at me, I'm so healthy and fit.
But it comes down to your arteries. That's what it comes down to.
I don't know. I love Twisties. And you know the thing I love about Twisties? What are the two flavours? Come on. The two famous flavours.
Cheese.
And?
Chicken.
Yes, very good. So why all the other chip, must have been the 90s, when all the other chips started to deviate from their, because, when we grew up, the flavours, Twisties were cheese and chicken, right? That was it. Chips were salt and vinegar, barbecue, plain.
Yeah.
Salt and vinegar.
I think Hamish and Andy did a gravy one.
They put out, but around that time when Hamish and Andy were doing it, all chips started to go off on weird tangents.
Yeah.
Like there was light and tangy, that's a good flavour, I must admit. But they did
your
tomato
fins
sauce.
come in a light and tangy, don't they?
They are good.
That's your connoisseur's chip.
But they started doing tomato sauce, and now you go into the...
No, now you're being stupid.
No, you can
Stop
get
it.
garlic bread,
Yeah,
you can
they're
get
stupid.
Parmesan, you get hamburger.
Yeah.
And Twisties for a long time just went, nah, We know what we are.
Oh, I see what you're saying. If we're good enough to be that, we're good enough to not muck around.
Yeah. It's like the Rolling Stones saying we just play rock and roll. We're not going to do disco, except that they ended up doing disco. You know what I mean? You know what you are. Right?
So-
but then they had the occasional. But then I remember they did barbecue in a very short run. They did a barbecue. Mm-hmm. But now they've joined the gang.
Have they?
Oh, yeah, they're just ridiculous. They do like blue cheese and...
Available in Australia?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, they do cheeseburger. They do bacon and cheese, which is quite nice, actually.
So if I was to give you a cheese twisty or a chicken twisty...
Oh, you can tell the difference by looking at them.
Okay. Is there any way that it tastes like chicken?
Oh, no, not really. It tastes like chicken noodle soup, I reckon. It tastes like what you think chicken tastes like.
Because I've never sort of related with what they like bacon. Bacon you can probably taste, can't you?
Yeah, bacon you can taste, but cheese tastes like cheese, like a cheese extract,
right?
And chicken tastes sort of like it's more it's like salt and vinegar. No, sorry, not salt and vinegar. It's more like chicken noodle soup, I reckon. That's what chicken.
So would you have been a chicken sandwich, a chicken roll? Sorry, twisty roll.
Yeah, definitely.
So how would you do it?
So you get your lunch order. And you order a white roll
with butter
and a packet of twisties.
And the contrast between the bread and the twisty was
beautiful. Yeah.
Really?
Ooh.
You wouldn't add anything to it?
No need.
And so it seems funny to me because it's something really crunchy. Then again, you have lettuce, which is crunchy. So the contrast between that and the bread was good.
Yeah, yum. I mean, I remember kids, which I never did, had sausage rolls where they buy a sausage roll.
See, that's a bread and sausage, really, isn't it?
Yeah, true.
But it's got pastry, I suppose. But still, you put a bit of sauce with that, and I think you're hanging tough with that pretty well. Me, I was a salad roll guy. Ham salad.
What?
I've never tasted.
Are you on a Pritikin diet?
I've never tasted a twisty.
What?
Roll. Never had a bite of one.
You never had a bite of what?
A twisty sandwich or a twisty roll.
Oh, wow. I thought you were going to say a twisty, full stop.
Well, I must admit...
When was the last time you had a twisty?
Not very often.
Ask me when was the last time I had a twisty.
When was the last time you had a twisty?
4 days ago.
If there's some out...
You'd have some?
I would have some. But
so you would never buy a packet to eat?
I would never buy a packet.
I always buy a packet.
What, you go for... But when you say how big?
Sometimes a big one.
Because the classic twisty bag is the yellow single serve...
Yeah. And 90 grams, probably. 90 G's, man.
And you reckon it's named Twisty?
I think it's because of the shape. They had this great promotion, which I didn't get onto, and the kids... We bought some Twisties the other day. They had this thing where you would photograph weird-shaped Twisties and suggest what it was.
Oh, yeah, right.
And so, there was like a boot. Like the kids found one that looked like a boot or a dinosaur.
Yeah.
The promotion had run out. Because, it's always my theory. Not many people enter competitions these days.
Not many people?
No. I reckon if you enter... I just know they've started entering this K-Zone competition, which is a kids magazine that comes out every month. They get on there and enter. They've won several prizes. Because I say to them, I reckon many people are entering this.
Because they just couldn't be bothered doing it.
Yeah, in our day, entering competition, big deal. There was not a lot going on in our lives.
Colin Seary won a pair of footy boots.
That's right. That's what we've heard about Colin. But these days, there's so much going on, isn't there? So much stuff going on.
Yeah, you go, I couldn't be bothered. Yeah.
But in our day, entering a competition.
My stepdaughter used to win colouring in competitions all the time.
Yeah.
She was a good colour in her. Mm-hmm. She won a full-size Simpsons poster.
Oh, fantastic.
It's probably worth
with
money
all the
now.
characters.
With all the characters.
Yep.
Yeah, and she had to colour in her, and she was really good. It's really interesting I should say that because my mother's 97, and as people get older, they come back more
They start colouring in?
Well, they start doing things that you do more when you're like a child. She's made a beaded bracelet the other day, and I'm going to get it colouring in. It's a good thing to remember to get them to do this simple. And you get them for nothing at Kmart. Anyway.
My mother-in-law started knitting again.
That's a good sign.
Yeah, knitting.
That's a very good sign. What was the cell line for Twisties? You know what I mean? Cell line.
Life's pretty straight with our Twisties.
Yes.
Didn't Skyhawks have a Twisties song? Twisties.
Yeah.
Red Simons wrote it. Was that it? Crunchy. Was that it? Might have been.
It's interesting because I wonder if they have any problems with copyright. if you're using a product name like that.
Yeah.
Because what was the famous one with? But that was from another song, wasn't it? With Men at Work. That was from Kookaburra.
yeah.
Sits on the old gum tree. That was very sad. What else can we say about? I don't think there's much we can say.
Twisties, what a great snack. I love Twisties. One of the best. One of the best ever. And Aldi, they have like a knockoff Twisty now called Twizzles or something like that. And they're pretty good.
And well, so you've actually gone off the main trail and popped down for a Twizzle or a Swizzle.
Yeah. I haven't seen them for a while, but I remember when they came out and someone did a taste test with me and they were pretty good. I have to say they're pretty good.
Pretty good. So you're going, you wouldn't buy them again?
Well, if you were desperate, you'd have them for sure. I mean, I always go the original Twisties.
Do you have a packet of chips or Twisties hidden somewhere in the house?
Oh, gee, sometimes I do, but I tend to eat them. I had some chips last night, some plain chips last night that were left over.
Well, and do you go halfway through a bag, then scrunch the bag up and put it in the cupboard? And how long would a packet of chips last?
Not long, a few days.
Because they go a bit rubbery.
Yeah, they get a bit rancid. Yeah, they get stale, basically, chips.
So you reckon a day or so?
That's the other thing we used to do. Remember we used to put the chip packets and Twisty packets in the oven?
No.
And they used to shrink? And you turn them into like a little
mini
piece
versions.
of jewellery. Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah. In the 70s, because they used to be made of something different. You put them in the oven and they'd all shrink like a little, it was some bit of fun.
Jewellery.
Yeah, but people would use them, turn them into key rings and stuff.
I haven't lived. I really haven't lived.
You haven't lived, man.
No.
You haven't lived. All right, well, animal feed.
What does animal feed mean? Does that mean
it's the stuff that they feed to animals? And remember, that's how Mad Cow happened. Because,
the crossover?
They fed cows to cows.
Yeah.
Bad idea.
The cows were being turned into food, and then the cows ate cows, and
that's how Mad Cow happened, apparently. Because traditionally, you got to feed, that grain. I assume.
Yeah,
when you go to the supermarket and it's always grain-fed steak.
Yeah.
Grain as opposed to what? What else are they feeding the cows?
Corn.
Oh, but that's just like a grain, isn't it?
Oats, maize. What's that?
They're all sort of grains, aren't they?
Are they?
I don't know. Anyway,
millet. What's millet?
Millet sounds like a grain to me. But yeah, I was reading this book the other day and they're talking about how in the old days, this is an interesting fact, lobsters in England were so
prolific,
common, They all around the coast. They used to feed them to orphans, prisoners, and crunch them up.
Read the same thing. Yeah. Like lobster was it like eating chicken in prison?
Yeah,
imagine that.
Everyone had lobster. Not lobster again. God damn it!
I'm not a huge fan of your lobster.
Now, a lot of work.
And am I right in saying a lot of cholesterol?
A lot of cholesterol.
In your prawns.
I had prawns on Christmas Day.
Yeah, we had prawns. How were they? As in raw?
No, Dad buys them from somewhere.
We had king prawns,
and
Selena just boiled them up, and then she made a tartare sauce sort of thing.
Beautiful.
And the tail, the very end tail was on, so you had something to hang on to. Dip it in, bang, pop it in the mouth. It's too easy to eat. You can do half a dozen before you've even taken a breath.
Animal feed, so it's just what is fed to animals. And I suppose traditionally, it was grain, grass. Now
But this is suggesting that it's somehow manufactured. I think when they're not saying animal grass or animal feed. Conjures up something that comes in a bag.
Yeah, it does. You're right. Yeah. So there must be some manufacturing process going on.
And when I think about that, I see pellets. I see. I mean, I say, would you say hay is animal feed? It's not. Is it? Hay's hay.
Hay's hay, but it's also used to feed animals. That's why they drop it in the paddocks and stuff for the cows to get into it. Gee, we had one listener. I know he put a photo of him feeding these cows while I was listening to the podcast. If only we could speak to him now.
He'd be an excellent one for this topic.
I think we don't know that much.
Have you ever what have you hand fed?
Hey, that's a really good question.
I think I've hand fed horses. I don't trust horses. Yeah, horses. And what do you got to do? You've got to have a flat hand, and then that big, and you. What else?
What else have you hand fed? No, cows.
What about? I think as a kid, there's a photograph of me feeding milk to a goat.
Oh yeah, a goat.
Yeah.
Yeah, we saw a goat the other day, and the kids were the woman said, "Come and feed the goat," and pushed some stuff into its mouth, and it liked it.
So to speak.
Feed the goat. Yeah. Feed the goat.
Gives
Goats
me an
are
idea.
cute though. They're so cute. But you wouldn't want one of them around the house.
And what else can you feed? I'm
Sheep.
sure I must have fed something with because I went to Steve Irwin's place up on the Gold Coast. Did I feed anything there?
Crocodile. A crocodile? You feed a crocodile?
I love the sign that they have. There's a crocodile farm up there at not Steve Irwin's place, and you walk around the crocodile, and there's fences that are quite high but not too high. And there's a sign that says, "Ladies, please mind your handbags."
Really?
Yeah, like seriously, they're more worried about your handbag than your face. I mean, old Snappy John's about to go your handbag. Imagine that if you had your But anyway, I've never fed a crocodile. Have I fed birds?
Oh yeah,
We've all fed birds. Yeah.
bird,
What about
yeah.
what about when birds fly down and you hold a bit of meat out and they swoop?
Like a bird show kind of
bird
thing.
show. I've done something similar.
Swooped by a magpie?
Oh,
That's
yeah.
scary.
Yeah.
That's very
What else have I-
disturbing.
Yeah. What else have I fed? Not much here.
No.
So I'm thinking it's something we're talking about. Okay, animal feed. Animal. What about so if you're going to feed an animal something manufactured, you do it off the back of a
Oh yeah, back of a truck.
back of
Or
a truck.
they tip them into troughs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So tip in a trough, or you just pour it out. It's sort of like does it just come out in a line sometimes?
Yeah, and you see pictures of the cows or whatever following the
Yeah,
truck.
yeah.
We're very much city people, I think, after this conversation.
Well, yeah, but I've spent a lot of time on farms doing Russell Quid. I should know more than I do.
should have a
I'm usually
look.
back in the car having a sleep while all this has been, all that's going on.
Also, they might be more smaller farms, not the big, huge farms. When we went to this,
Wasn't there a movie where someone got turned into animal feed, where they dumped the body into a feeder? I'm sure they've done that.
No.
Or maybe it was a
Fargo.
Fargo. Yeah, what was it?
That was a
Well done.
it was a wood chipper.
Oh, okay.
That's horrific. And you go in the cinema, people are laughing. You're like, that's not funny. It's not funny at all. I didn't like
funny.
Fargo that much.
The movie.
Nah. I prefer
What about the series? I love
I
the
haven't seen the
series.
series. I got to watch it, don't I?
The series is brilliant.
Angus Sampson in it?
He's in like the third one, I
right.
think.
I should watch
He's
it.
very good.
Yeah, I got to watch it.
Nah, the first couple are, I would say, better than the movie.
Is
Fargo's right up there with your Breaking Bad
Oh,
for
is it?
mine. Oh yeah,
Is Angus speaking like this, like that?
I think he was kind of a
bit of that?
hillbilly tough guy,
Oh, okay.
and he does play intimidating quite well, Angus.
Well, when one of my friends said to him, when you lower your voice, you sound a bit like Marlon Brando. And from that point on, he spoke like Marlon. He spoke like that. So you'd see him. I saw him at the chicken shop once. He's like, "How's it going, mate? Yeah, how you going?"
Because they do learn that if they smoke, their voice can get a bit gravelly.
Well, friend of the show, Adam Zwar, has a theory that the only Australian actors that succeed in Hollywood are the ones with the deep voices.
Yeah.
Like Russell Crowe.
Well, if you've got a deep voice and a big head, because movie stars often have big heads.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then again, I don't think Guy Pearce has got a very deep voice. Has he? He's got a deep
Oh, he hasn't got a
voice.
very big head.
No, and he's been successful.
Well, Humphrey Bogart, he had a big head.
Oh, okay. Well, Bert Newton's got a big head.
Yeah.
I've got a big head.
I've got a big head. Metaphorically, I've got a huge head.
Really? My head's big. Look at it.
Yeah, that's my problem.
The one on Channel 10 said you've got the second biggest head I've ever measured.
No, I probably got the biggest head because I do that bit of stand up.
Bert Newton had the biggest head. Really?
Where I'm a hat wrecker.
Oh,
You take a hat, looks pretty good. Put it on my head, I wreck the hat.
bang.
It looks horrible. Not meaning physically, it just looks bad.
Oh, wow.
You do see me doing the beanie joke.
Yeah. That's funny.
Yeah.
It's funny.
Um,
Well, animal feed. I know much more we can say about animal feed. I think we've covered it off.
yeah, I think we have really.
Should we get some thinking music?
Yeah, I wonder if Sam can find. Would there be? Is there an '80s ad, or is there an ad?
Twisties.
Is there an ad? Well, I'm not that familiar with a classic Twisties ad. I know what was the life is pretty straight without.
Life's pretty straight with their twisties. Yeah, it was sort of a bit wacky in the 80s. They're a bit wacky.
Yeah.
Life's pretty straight with their twisties. I
Um,
can't remember what happened on those ads, though. Wasn't up there with change the colour of your
No.
the colour of your crunchy.
I think there was like a lot of them were just around that period were just sort of funky music, people doing funky stuff.
Yeah. People with permed hair.
Yeah.
Dancing about.
Dancing about, eating
Wacky
twisties, having a
clothes.
good. It was all imagery. There was no real dialogue to it. But I reckon if we had a song and we had one of those ads, even if it's just the music, I reckon we'd reminisce.
Okay. Let's hear it.
Give me some twisties. Give me some twisties. Twisties are what I need. Twisties. Give me some. Give me some.
All right.
There you go.
Memories.
I reckon if you Jen, what Jen would remember that.
Gen X.
Would remember that. I reckon.
My generation.
Yeah. In fact,
We're
you
not
can see.
boomers.
Yeah, you can see your face sort of light up when the music
Yeah.
came. Well, you're like Pavlov's dog.
I feel like Twisties now. I would happily eat some.
So if I was like trying to get information out of you, right, and I didn't feed you for a few days, I'm going, what is the code to stop the atomic bomb going off?
Yeah.
And if I said, if you give it to us, I'll give you some twisties, would it break you?
Probably, yeah. I reckon it would.
Dim Sims, would that break
Dim
you?
Sims. I love Dim Sims. Steamed ones with soy sauce. Woo. Potato cakes, tomato sauce.
Potato cakes with tomato sauce?
Yeah, yeah, yum.
Do you dip the potato cake into the tomato sauce?
No,
or
you put it on it.
Oh, wow.
And eat it like love potato cake.
I do like potato cakes. See, I would go for potato cake.
Over a dim sim.
Over a bucket of chips.
See, if I had you in interrogation, it would be a ham and salad roll. It'd crack you.
Sushi.
Sushi. I like sushi.
Oh,
Nothing wrong
probably
with sushi.
a party pie probably get me.
Oh, party pies are good.
Or
But if you're in jail, they probably make them too hot too, steaming hot. It's burning my tongue.
oh, can we just cool them? Can I put my hand out the window to cool it down a bit?
All right.
right.
Do you have an idea? I know this answer. I actually know this one. I reckon I know it.
Oh, you know, you reckon
I've read
from
it.
your
From my-
well, okay. Well, given that you know the answer, I'm going to say
Extensive
something that
knowledge.
I reckon they were trying to create a new savoury dish. What do you call it? And the guy who was creating it did it in a machine that creates animal feed. And it popped out. See, you look at that stuff, that millet stuff. It does look like it could be
Yes.
something edible. And I reckon that Twisties are made in a machine that could also make animal feed. There you go. I've said
Yeah,
it.
you're right. You're right.
Oh, really?
Well, what it was a waste product. So
What was a waste product?
Twisties were. So
They were a waste product for the animals.
So when they made animal
So we
feed-
don't need to ask Sam. Sam's going to be upset.
No, we'll get the details off Sam. I just know the general stuff.
Okay.
Well, in America, what happened was that a guy was working an animal feed machine
Yeah.
and was using corn
Yep.
and would shoot off these, he called them cheese, little puffs of corn.
Right.
And he would take them home. So they were little heated up bits of corn that had been puffed up by the heat.
Yep.
And they would throw them out.
But what was he making?
He was making animal feed.
He was making animal feed, and there was. So it was not the animal feed.
No, it was a byproduct.
It was the discarded the waste.
The waste. And so he would take them home
Yeah, it's not
and
bad.
add
Put them in a bowl. Have some friends over.
yeah, and he add cheese, like cheese to it, like cheese, sprinkling cheese on it.
At home.
Yeah, and then he started selling them door to door. This guy
Oh, good story.
and called them cheese puffs. And then they basically they became Twisties in Australia.
So, next time someone comes over and I got twisted, I can say, "Do you want some animal feed?" That is
Byproduct. It's an amazing story, really. Yeah, because it was a product of And so you know, there's other things similar to Twisties, like a cheese or like a what are the other ones we said when the kids? They're very similar. Tubes. A lot of them they're all from the same kind of
Cheezels.
yeah. They're cheeses. They're all from the same kind of world. You know what I mean? They're all corn byproduct.
Well, are you right, Sam? Don't think you've been gazumped
Wake up, Sam.
by Dave O'Neill. Give us the facts, the clean line on this, because he's spouted out that he knows the real answer. Sam, don't be offended, but give us the real one.
In the 1930s, a Wisconsin, USA animal feed manufacturer used corn in a grinding machine to make the feed. This process got the tough bits of corn out to make it easier for farm animals to eat it. But the machine needed cleaning. Friction heated the moistened corn that was fed into the machine to clean it from the end of the grinder. Khmer waste product puff corn without the hard kernels. Edward Wilson, who worked at the plant, experimented with the process, eventually creating the first puffed corn snack, adding seasoning at home to flavor it. By the end of the 1930s, the company had transformed itself from producing animal feed to making snack food. It also paid into the machine called an extruder to produce the new corn puffs. Twisties came about in the early 1950s when Melbourne businessman Isidore Magid imported one of the patented rotary head extruders from the United States. With some more experimentation, he created Twisties. Thanks to animal feed machine cleaning in Wisconsin, Twisties on our popular snack around Oceania and Southeast Asia, sold in different flavors depending on the country. There's a video in the episode notes if you'd like to see the original corn puff process.
Well, we were right. There we go. Thanks,
Well,
Sam.
yeah, it's interesting.
Sort of right, yeah.
You have been listening to Somehow Related with Glenn Robbins and Dave O'Neill.
Would you ever? Okay, let's just say on the table, because you're saying to me you can't dip a chip into the dip. Would you ever dip? Then you were talking about putting the tomato sauce on your
Potato cake.
Would you ever dip your twisty into something that's there for another reason?
No. Why would you
Why
do that?
not?
Because it's.
Oh, hang on, you've just been telling me how you can have twisties in a roll, and now I'm going. Oh, here's something exciting. There's a bit of Dijon mustard over there. Surely.
No, no.
Well, that's just an insult to
I
you.
think that. No, I don't think I've ever done that because they're so good by themselves. Why would
But
you?
they would even be better though. And okay, this is interesting. What is the biggest single twisty
Would
that
you
you've
put
eaten?
clothes on a beautiful naked woman, Glenn? Or man? No point.
How
Fine
big
as it is.
Do you? Okay, I'll ask you another one. When you're going through your twisty bowl, your fingers are going into the bowl.
Yeah.
Do you gravitate to the smaller ones or the bigger ones?
Bigger ones.
And describe how big a twisty can get?
Big as a
relative
finger.
terms.
Big as a finger.
Big as a finger.
Yeah, some can be. Well, a little finger.
Because sometimes they've had knotted bits, and you go, oh, like, would you? And okay, I'm going to get really detailed here. How do you eat them? Do you put them in your hand, in the palm of your hand, and go like that, or do you have them in your fingers?
I would have them in the palm of my hand.
Yep.
I'd take a handful and then eat them with my other hand.
So you have a handful there.
Yeah, that'll be right.
So you eat them one by one using two hands.
Yeah.
You would never go.
Yeah.
Okay, now I'm going to get gross.
And then if I'm eating I wouldn't lick the hand. I don't think I'd lick the hand. But then if I'm eating the
would you lick
packet,
someone else's hand?
then if I'm eating the packet by myself, I'd upend it.
I was going to ask you. That's the final thing. So then you would upend.
I always feel bad doing that on a plane, but then I think, well, I'm not going to see anyone else.
Do you do that on a plane?
Yeah, I've done it on a plane. You bet.
Because sometimes I'm really tempted with soup. Because you go, I can't get the last bit of soup.
I know.
And I have to, especially if it's like a wonton soup or something.
I know. That's why bread's good, isn't it?
Yeah, because it just comes in. If no one's looking, I'm gonna just tip this up.
Oh yeah.
But so how do you? So what are you getting at the bottom of that bag? You're getting
You get
salt,
all the salt, but you
and
get
all the bits.
Yeah, all the cheese.
And do you hold it up and then how do you just rattle the bag?
rattle the bag? Oh yeah, what a good feeling.
And does it all? See, it's not a very good pouring spout.
No. But you learn over the years how to do that.
And do you ever get like telltale signs that you've had twisted? Do you go yellow around the mouth?
Yeah. There's that. I think it's Pommy Johnson's joke. Remember Pommy Johnson?
Yeah, very funny. Yeah.
He goes, "Oh, I went to the doctor the other day because I've got a sorry, turn off the kids are around. All right, kids are around."
I remember. It's funny.
Went to the doctor the other day because I've got a bright orange penis, and the doctor said, "What? Tell me what you've been doing all day." "Oh, just eating twisties and watching pornos."
Oh, look, I don't want to end on that note, but
it's good enough.
It's good enough.
Yeah.